everyone, and welcome to Hybrid Pioneer series. And today we have no one other than a chair of the Hybrid Committee in the District 91, Dawodu. In May 2017, Mo joined Can Speakers, a club with only 5 active members. In his first year as VP membership, the club recruited 13 new members and even more in the following year. Mo has also served as a club treasurer, sergeant at arms, and president, helping to build the club to 40+ members. He represented Can Speakers at Toastmasters International Conventions in 2018 and 2019. In the year 2019-20, Mo served as an area director in Division H. He was managing the logistics and volunteers as part of the organizing committee for the District 91 Ashford Conference in 2019. Mo is currently serving as the District 91 Logistics Manager and Hybrid Committee Chair to support clubs make the transition to hybrid meetings. He is a qualified civil engineer and owner of a multifaceted engineering construction company that employed up to 30 people in the Southeast for over 25 years. Welcome, Mo.
Thank you very much, Marta.
What has been your hybrid story?
I'm not so sure if the hybrid story is my story. I think the hybrid story is a collective story of many people, and most especially including the hybrid committee, and lots of untold volunteers, and some people who I probably cannot mention in the time that we have. But to talk about hybrid is to go back 1 or 2 steps and talk about the fact that when I was area director, obviously all that we knew was face-to-face meetings, in-person meetings. I actually don't think up until the lockdown 2020, I don't think I ever attended any Toastmasters meeting online, talk less of hybrid. So in a way, I think that COVID coming along created a challenge and also created an opportunity. And our club was actually one of the first as area director to run online meetings. And as COVID persisted, the great man himself, our district director at the time, who is quite technical, a techie person, I refer to Arno as the Merovingian at Can Speakers. He set up he had this vision of a hybrid committee, and I was volunteered in a way to lead set up a hybrid committee, put something in place to help clubs to transition to online and post-COVID hybrid meetings, because he had a vision that hybrid meetings were going to be the future. And I was sold on that vision, and in a way, we have done a lot since then, speaking to lots of different people, as I said, too many people to thank or to mention, especially including yourself, Marta, Mike Weston, Annalise, as I said, quite a few others. So this story is not my story, it's a story of many people. Thank you very much.
Excellent, Mo. And you mentioned the other members of Hybrid Committee, and we have Mike Weston, my distinguished colleague, with me, and Mike will ask you some more questions. Over to you, Mike.
Thank you, Marta. Now, Mo, you've already mentioned essentially why you became a member, why you were given the chalice of potentially poisoned, of being the chair of the hybrid committee. But what particular skills or what particular energy did you bring to the role? What was it that you think that Arno saw within you to pick up this mantle?
Thank you very much for that question, Mike. I think that the good thing about my relationship with Arno is that we are members of the same club. And over the years, I've done certain things for the district, including managing the logistics for the D91 conference in Ashford. I think there were some times when we traveled to the international convention where we needed to put certain votes. There were some things that needed to be done for the district that sometimes I volunteered and sometimes I was volunteered that I was willing to contribute to. I think I have a history of saying yes, and sometimes I wonder, do I say yes too often? Because I think it's more to do with a track record of, I don't think there's anything that I've volunteered or been told to do that I haven't done with energy and enthusiasm, because I think that being able to actually do something that would benefit not necessarily the 4,000 members we have, but most of our members is something that inspires me. I enjoy doing so. I think he knew that I was going to enjoy it, but sometimes as leaders, we also need to get the balance right to make sure that you don't take on too much. But they say, if you want something done, give it to a busy person. So that's probably why.
So yes, you came across as a busy person and a safe pair of hands, and I think that's obviously, yes, exactly who you want to be picking up something new, because as you've already mentioned, this was dropped upon us from a great height thanks to COVID. So having someone who is embedded within the Toastmasters experience, a firm part of the district, ready to pick that up, and someone who could be trusted to deliver, an expert in logistics, would be exactly that right sort of person. Now, even with the safest pair of hands, I imagine there have been moments. So what has been your biggest challenge as a hybrid committee member?
The one thing I would say about challenges is I believe that a challenge is really an opportunity to grow. I don't think it's possible for us to grow unless we solve problems that we go looking for proactively, or problems that we are opportune that come our way, and okay, we don't bypass them. Let's face this. I think the biggest challenge I faced as a member of this hybrid committee is the unknown. How long is COVID going to be? We didn't have a choice when COVID came along. We all have to go online. But here we are now trying to prepare and plan for something that, and right now, we're in the third wave. Right now, we have, is it Omicron? We have another version, and I think we've had record infections reported today. I think the biggest challenge we faced is the uncertainty of being able to say to clubs, this is what you need to do and this is when you need to do it. And I think when it comes to dealing with people in a large organization, being able to predict the reaction or the response has been quite interesting. And I have learned a lot of things. Having this opportunity to work on the hybrid committee has been quite rewarding, because I've learned a lot about consultation, and I have also had an opportunity to work with some truly great, talented, technical people. I've gotten a lot out of it. So I volunteered a lot of my time, but it's been quite rewarding. The challenge has been the unpredictability. And I think right now we were uncertain about the technology, but now we know the technology is there and it works. What we now need to do is to try and make sure that the quality of the hybrid meetings are where we want them to be, in line with the best face-to-face in-person meetings.
Thank you, Mo. Yeah, and I think you're spot on there. The uncertainty has definitely been a challenge for all of us. But I think, as they say, a good sign of leadership, in fact, one of the better signs of leadership is being able to make decisions during uncertainty. And I think that's where Toastmasters shows its strength. And certainly, as chair of the committee, you've certainly shown strength in sort of driving us forward during this period. And you put in some hints of to when this might be recorded. Sadly, I fear they might not be particularly good. Again, it could be yet another wave. It could be another record broken. Let us hope that by the time this comes out, we're through the worst of it. But if we're not, we know that we're in safe hands, at least in this committee. So I will pass over to Marta for the next set of questions.
Thank you, Mike. And I would like to ask you, Mo, what to that point has been your most rewarding experience as a hybrid committee member? Can you find such a thing? Can you share it with us, please?
Most rewarding.
Yes.
There are quite a few things that obviously working with this committee for me has been, for those of you who won't be listening to this, some of you may not be aware that we've been meeting virtually every Thursday for over 6 months. And the group dynamics has been quite enjoyable. I don't think we would all have volunteered and willingly come along every Thursday to have a conversation regarding how we can improve. For me, that has been quite rewarding, and I think each and every member of the committee needs to take some credit for that. I'm not going to take credit for that all by myself. I also think that lately, since the lockdown has been lifted, I have had an opportunity to visit some clubs, and I am really excited by some of the club hybrid meetings I've been to. Some of the clubs are still a work in progress, but I recently attended, well, I must say, Mike's club this week, and I had so much fun. I don't think that would have been the same if it was purely online, and I don't think it would have been the same if it was purely face-to-face. I think the balance and the dynamics of some members being online, some people being in their room, worked really well. It is still something that we're working on. We're having this opportunity to have the perfect blend between some people have concerns, they want to stay at home and attend the meeting, and some people want to go along to the meetings. I love going along to the Kent Speakers meeting. And there's somebody I also always look forward to listening to. We have a member in Canada, Caroline, and she's just an amazing Toastmasters. We've also got some members who also attend from France and from Mexico, but being able to go to a live meeting with our mask on and pulling down the mask to have a beer afterwards, even with COVID, you can't beat that. So in a way, the relationships, being able to go to a live meeting and also being able to venture afar to attend meetings where people are in the room, I think that this is going to be something that is going to become more the norm, not just in Toastmasters, even outside in the real world, where people can save on traveling, you can spend more time with your loved ones, with family, and attend meetings. You don't have to travel and stay in a hotel for a 1 hour meeting, 6 hour flight. I think some of the benefits of the hybrid meetings are there, and I'm truly enjoying working with this committee and being able to attend various club meetings in D91.
That is splendid, Mo. I am on the same sheet with you. I would say that if I didn't volunteer for being on the hybrid committee, I wouldn't have learned all those techniques and to know about the technical characteristics that make the good hybrid meeting, and building up from that is something fabulous. What aspirations do you have for our District 91 hybrid future, Mo?
what I would say about District 91 aspirations regarding hybrid clubs is Toastmasters, my favorite 10 words, we empower individuals to become more effective communicators and leaders. I am looking forward to a time when it doesn't make any difference whether you attend a face-to-face club meeting, online club meeting, hybrid club meeting, you would still be able to achieve your educational aspirations. You would still be able to improve your leadership skills and improve your communication skills. I believe at this point in time, there are some individuals and some clubs that have reservations as to does the technology get in the way? And what I would say at this point in time is we don't have the perfect solution to all the hybrid challenges yet. We are on a journey and it is getting better with each meeting that I attend, being able to synergize ideas, being able to exchange what works well, what doesn't work well between clubs is improving the quality of the meetings. And as I said, when we arrive at that point where there is no difference between what you achieve attending a hybrid meeting or face-to-face meeting, I think we would have arrived somewhere. I also would love for people to be able to join Toastmasters because they want to learn about how to run online meetings. They want to learn about how to run hybrid meetings, creating some centers of excellence where people come along because they want to learn how to manage and develop hybrid meeting skills. And that is already happening. Our club president at Kent Speakers at the moment, Serena, has been helping with setting up the meetings. Obviously, as the club president, she's leading the club in terms of the transition to hybrid. And she did exchange a story that I had to explain to some, she works for the NHS, some colleagues at work how to run hybrid meetings. So in a way, being a member of a club that is running hybrid meetings, we develop transferable skills that are useful, not just within Toastmasters, but also in the real world, creating some centers of excellence, making sure that hybrid meetings are no different to face-to-face meetings. That is, in simple terms, what I would say my aspirations are.
Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Thank you, Mo, for sharing with us your aspirations for our district hybrid future. I will ask Mike to ask you further set of questions now. Over to you, Mike.
Thank you, Marta. So, Mo, you spent a bit of time earlier on just singing the praises of Arno, something I think we can all agree with. But if I can quote the village people, no man does it all by himself. So as wonderful as Arno is, he could not have done it alone. So as a club committee member, how did you lead your club transition to hybrid meetings?
Thank you very much, Mike. The one thing that we have at Kent Speakers as a club is we have a strong committee and we have a strong theme, spirit, and ethic. And the one thing that you have to do, especially as a president, really is you have to encourage and give every club member and every committee member a voice. One of the things I did at Kent Speakers as president really is I introduced the Robert rules of parliamentary to our parliamentary procedures to our committee meetings to make sure that sometimes some of our committee members come along and are quiet, but every individual was encouraged to have a say. And in a way, we encouraged consultations among the committee and we encouraged consultation of all the club members. At Kent Speakers, we believe and we practice that the club belongs to the members. Committee members are there for a year to lead and direct and guide, but the club members own the club in a way, in a manner of speaking, and we need to make decisions that serve the best interest of our club members. sometimes I would say waiting for club members to respond to consultation is sometimes a bit of a challenge, but we've done the best we can. We've consulted, and it also actually happened that the final decision needed to be made after I stepped down as president. I'm currently serving as immediate past president at Kent Speakers. Our current committee, being led by Serena, the club president, has done a good job in actually actualizing the transition to hybrid meetings, and I am enjoying going along to Kent Speakers now, attending the meetings, seeing our online members, and having the customary Kent Speakers after meeting catch up every Wednesday after the meeting.
Thank you, Bo. Yes, I think you're right. It's so much easier if people are ready to come with you rather than it's you springing it upon you. I mean, if you're going to lead, then fundamentally people need to be ready to head in the same direction. So I think, as you say, consultation is key. If you're not talking to people, then how can you be expected to lead them, and how can they expect you to lead them, and how can anyone expect anything to actually happen and move on without everyone forming up to achieve a co-joined objective at the end of the day? Now, you touched on this as you were talking through there, the challenges of getting people to respond, but what other challenges did the club face, and how did you overcome them?
Because what we decided in September is we were going to trial hybrid meetings for 6 months, because I do understand some other clubs also face this challenge. How can you make a decision on something that you haven't experienced? You actually don't know if it's going to work or not. It's a bit experimental. So in a way, we're hybrid pioneers. And the challenge really was also getting members to respond to and to vote on something that they were not certain about. So in a way, I think that what we have chosen and opted to do to trial the hybrid meetings for 6 months is something that is the best. It's the best option that we had at Kent Speakers. Some of the particular challenges that we actually faced, and I believe other clubs may have faced this as well, is as at the time when the lockdown was lifted, we had no venue. Our venue was gone. We needed to look for a new venue. At this point in time, we're paying twice as much as we used to pay. We now also need to find some money. In as much as we have money, we need to find some money to invest in hybrid equipment. At this point in time, we're using individual members have volunteered and are bringing laptops, cameras, microphones. The challenge that we're going to face really is, by the time we get to the next renewal end of March, we would again need to consult our members to find out what is their view on the hybrid meeting format that we're running. I believe that it is going to improve considerably between now and then. The meetings are great. We did have a technical challenge recently because our poll system didn't work, but these things are normal. When you face challenges within a meeting, whether it's with the audio, whether it's with the polling, whether it's with the camera, whether it's with the setup, these are normal things that I expect us to address and deal with and improve between now and when we need to make a final decision and invest in equipment that will then belong to the club. All the challenges that we're faced, I believe, I think they're a necessary part of the journey to improving and being able to demonstrate to the club members this is possibly a good way forward.
I would certainly agree. I mean, it's a challenge for a reason. If it was easy, then we'd already be doing it. And if we were already doing it, why would it be so exciting? And I think there's a fundamental nature of, you need the challenge to push yourself. Part of what Toastmasters is trying to do is encourage you to get out of comfort zones. And as much as I think people are down on online and down on various other things, it has opened up our horizons to a whole new vista of challenges. And I think that just makes us better speakers at the end of the day. Different speakers, not necessarily sort of always in front of a physical audience, but I think that's it. The challenges make her stronger, the challenges make her better, make the result much more palatable and much more exciting at the end. So yeah, I look forward to hearing more about that sort of as you go through your journey, because as you say, it is all of us are in a work of progress at the moment. And maybe touching on some of that, I will pass back to Marta for the next set of questions. Over to you, Marta.
Thank you, Mike. Mo, you've just spoken about the challenges, but tell me, what are the benefits to your club members, and what feedback have you received? Have you received any from them since you started the hybrid meetings?
The interesting thing I would say about that is when you've been online for over a year, when we had our first hybrid meeting, and maybe the first 3 or 4 meetings, you don't realize how tall some of our members are when they showed up in person, because the only view you had was somebody on a screen. And I think that being able to actually meet face to face with some of our members has actually helped to develop the bond and the relationship and the strength of the clubs. I think that for a club that was, before the lockdown, legendary for our after meeting events, which were sometimes longer than our Toastmasters club meetings, I think being able to return to a degree of that. Obviously, there's COVID at this point in time, so we need to be careful. We do socialize at Kent Speakers. That's the first thing. I think being able to meet and connect with people in person was something that you could see the smile and the joy on the faces of a lot of our members. And again, I'm going to repeat this. Being able to keep the expertise from the quality of some of the international members we have is something that is priceless. We have some members that are outside our district, and having this opportunity for them to remain as members, for me, is a great joy. And it's something that I would, for clubs that have an opportunity to sign a DTM from outside your district or from another country, it's helped to maintain. We have a diverse club, and it's helped to retain and maintain that. And I am certain when we make a final decision to continue as a hybrid club, hence because we'll only continue to grow as a diverse club. We've even had people attend our meetings from India. Somebody stayed up till, joined our meeting maybe 3 o'clock in the morning, and then at the end of the meeting, they had to prepare to go to work. So for me, there's been stories that we've been able to capture and share that say to me, we're on the right track and we just need to perfect what it is we're doing. And I'm sure there are going to be many more benefits. And for me, many more stories that we're going to be able to capture and share by being able to continue to run hybrid meetings.
That is excellent. It is so heartwarming to hear this, to hear that feedback from your members. But we mentioned that there are many clubs that are not yet going down the hybrid path. So my question is, what advice would you give to clubs considering hybrid meetings or trialing hybrid meetings?
At this point in time, we have about 10% of the clubs trialing hybrid meetings. And I would say to clubs that are reluctant, some may have decided they're not going to do it, and maybe for the right reasons. It may not be right for their club or their membership. Maybe they don't. It's not, hybrid is not going to be for every club and every member. But for clubs that may benefit or are unsure about hybrid, whether it's the technology or the finance, there are lots of reasons why clubs could have concerns regarding hybrid. What I would say is contact the hybrid committee. There are a lot of hybrid, there's a lot of hybrid resources on the D91 website and on Easy Speak, which is a platform that a lot of clubs use for organizing meetings. You can identify clubs on there that are running hybrid meetings, and you can even find out when those meetings are being run. My suggestion would be go along to a few hybrid meetings, go to different meetings, speak to some of the members of the clubs running hybrid meetings to find out what are the benefits for their members, and find out if some of those benefits would also would apply to their club members. I think that it is more challenging to run a hybrid meeting than a purely online meeting. It is certainly more challenging a hybrid meeting than a face-to-face meeting, because you now have a blend of two worlds. I think that from my experience, the rewards that have manifested so far that we can see, and what I can imagine or anticipate, are going to make it well worth it for the clubs that have the resources, and it's going to require some dedicated and committed members. It's not going to go perfectly from day one. It's going to be a learning experience and a journey, but a truly rewarding one for those clubs who get it right.
Excellent advice. Thank you so much, Mo. Over to you, Mike.
Thank you, Marta. Now, Mo, you touched on this at the end of your previous question, and you hinted at it and even discussed aspects of it earlier on in the discussion. But if you were to look to the future, if you were to look into your crystal ball, what do you perceive as the greatest opportunity, perhaps yet untapped, but that hybrid meetings might provide as we continue to certainly live in this uncertain world full of COVID?
Interesting question. And I think this is not purely a Toastmasters answer, because I think the world has changed since COVID. People have been working from home. Some people have loved it. Some people have maybe not enjoyed it as much. For those people who want to spend more time with their loved ones, family, friends, for those people who want to reclaim travel time, as I touched on earlier, I spent quite a lot of time engaging in international traveling because I wanted an opportunity to meet with someone, to try and develop some business opportunities. I'm now sitting down and thinking, I can send a Zoom link and we can have I think the economics of hybrid meetings are also worth considering. Imagine a meeting with 100 people and everybody needs to be lodged in a hotel, everybody needs to be on a flight for hours on end, and that's not being necessary because this is something that can be done virtually. I believe that for clubs that run hybrid meetings and get it right, and for those members who choose to acquire or develop those skills in the not too distant future, I think there will be a requirement for, I don't know what the title is going to be, for organizers or technical people who can set up and organize hybrid meetings well. And I think Toastmasters is a good place to practice that skill, not just for club members, because everything we do at Toastmasters relates to the real world. You can develop transferable skills that can have significant economic positive implications or rewards.
I couldn't agree more. I think that's exactly it in a nutshell, that, you know, we're in Toastmasters to make ourselves better and to learn skills and develop our careers. And everything we do should have an impact outside of Toastmasters. And I see a lot of people thinking about hybrid as purely a Toastmasters question when it is such a larger one. It just opens up the world. I think you made a great point about being able to pop round to visit other clubs, these were always options to us, but now this door is opened, and I think it's a door that's going to open further and further. So I absolutely love, what you're envisioning there as a potential opportunity. Now, you talked about earlier on that it's across the district, 10% of clubs are probably trialing hybrid at the moment. Now, what's your the best outcome you can imagine for the district and possibly your own club moving forward? I mean, do we want to see all clubs hybrid, or do we want to see clubs focusing on that, or a mix? What's your the best possible outcome for you with hybrid moving forward?
For me, the best possible outcome for hybrid moving forward would be for each club to consult their members in a neutral way, provide as much information as is possible to provide for them, and for each club to make a decision that serves their members' interest best. I don't think it's fair for any club leaders to impose or to deter a club from becoming hybrid, because I'm sure you will have some clubs where some of the members probably want hybrid, but maybe the leadership don't, and maybe some clubs where the leadership and the other way around. So in a way, I think that whatever it is that serves the overall interest of the club best is what would also serve our district best going forward. And the beauty of hybrid really is it begins to make our membership of clubs non-geographical. You can join a club, you can join a specialist club, because if it's been around in person, you can still join online. I think that for me, the best I would opt for is that we're members of Toastmasters. We have our district mission, we have the Toastmasters mission, the club mission. I think that if we get to the point, or when we get to the point where hybrid meetings don't even become a conversation as to we're trialing, should we trial? When we get hybrid meetings to a point where we're talking about hybrids at the same level as online meetings, and we have been able to develop the process and the knowledge base for new clubs that want to trial it, whereby it's not such a big challenge. Once we have arrived at a point where we've been able to demystify hybrid meetings, I believe that we would have arrived at a place that I would be very comfortable and happy with. And this is something I wish for every club that wants to trial hybrid. For any member that wants to have the hybrid experience, if your club doesn't want to do it, you can join another club. You can be a member of more than one club. I believe that there's skills and benefits to running hybrid meetings, to hybrid clubs. And once that becomes the norm, I believe we would have achieved a best possible outcome when it's no longer a thing, when it becomes more the norm. Thank you very much for that question, Mike.
And thank you for such a well-rounded answer. I think that's a key point. Is that everything we do in Toastmasters is always driven by the members. It's for the members, by the members. So regardless of what an individual might think, or even the district might think, it's up to people to make the decision at the end of the day. And the opportunities and sort of choices will be there. If people want to go to, as you say, a club that's fully online, online clubs are there, in-person clubs are there, hybrid there. Hybrid is just another tool in the box, and people hopefully, and following on from your vision, will not be frightened to take that tool out and play around with it and see if it works for them and their members. And I think if anything this video series can do is to, a great word choice, demystify hybrid. Hopefully this will do that. So thank you so much, Mo. It has been fascinating seeing inside your journey, getting inside your mind, learning about and just seeing the passion that you hold for what you're doing, Toastmasters and hybrid. Hopefully that is infectious, maybe the wrong choice of words during a pandemic. But if it could get struck down by this, I think this would be a positive thing to take away. So thank you again, Mo. Thank you, Marta, for asking all the other questions. And just thank you for watching this, and please watch the others. There's been so much great content provided by our hybrid pioneers out there, and there's more to come. As Mo's pointed out, this isn't stopping any day soon, and each day brings a new challenge, a new opportunity, and a new thing to discover. So keep watching this space. Thank you, everyone, and thanks again, Mo.
Thank you very much, Mike, and thank you very much, Marta.
And that's us for now.